Hi, I'm Louise. I run Crafting Connections CIC, so we're a community invest company. We actually run Lambton Community Hub as well. So we lease the building from the council to provide a range of activities that are accessible to everybody in the community.
Hi, my name's Linda Williams. I'm 66 and I've lived in Washington all my life. Right, so when I was first brought home from hospital, we lived at Cox Green, which is down by the River Wear. Then we moved to a new property in Coach Road Estate. In fact, we lived in 2 properties there. Then we moved and lived in Springwell Club, where my dad was the steward, my mum was the stewardess.
Okay, so your family have quite an interesting history. Could you please share some of that story with us?
Living down by the waterside, which is what my family would call it, my granddad's brother had ran the ferry, which took people from one side of the ferry across to the other side. Lots of people going to the Oddfellows Arms, which is still there. So although my granddad didn't own it, part of his time he would ferry people across the river, obviously for a small fee. That must have been really difficult when you think about it. But in 1958, which was the year I was born, they actually put up a bridge, which is still there, to take across. So that would then, in effect, end the ferry business. But yeah, it must have been quite interesting being ferried across the river.
And so we wanted to produce this film as part of it, and to celebrate Aging on the 11th of June. And it's all about helping people to understand and to celebrate getting older and aging well, and also to understand if people have experienced any ageism in their lives. You need your name, your age, and how
My
much you
name,
live in Washington.
James Welsh, born 28th of January 1929,
And how long have you lived in Washington for?
14 years.
Oh, well, my name is Maureen Bowes. I moved to Washington in, I think it was 1990 or 1989.
My name is Linda Farrow. I'm 75-year-old and I've lived in Washington since 1982.
I'm 76.
My name's Jane Cuthill, Mrs. Jane Cuthill. I've lived in Washington about 45 years and I'm 80.
My name's Angela Brady. I'm 70. I'm 71 on Thursday. I've lived in Lambton from 1982.
I think I'm an older person, but I'm not old.
Bodily.
I'm not an old person.
I always said it, I don't know why, but even when I was a band, I'm going to live till 106. I don't know why, but quite honestly, I wouldn't like to.
I don't feel I'm older, but technically when you look at those, I absolutely am. I think it's sometimes about how you present yourself. And you know, you see some fabulous people in their 70s who are really well turned out, and that must make you feel better.
They would be walking or walking frame.
Exactly.
Tends to be people who've maybe are a little bit stooped over, aren't comfortable, don't walk as well as they might have been able
I
to.
would imagine they might have a perm.
So they're just generally struggling.
No, no. Mine, at that particular time, it was a lot better. I think it's deteriorated.
If I wasn't coming to this hub, I probably wouldn't be, I wouldn't be coming out.
And we do 2 different lunch clubs a week, as well as cooking opportunities, exercise classes, yoga, arts and crafts. I should have remembered those first because that's what I teach. And everybody just comes together. It's a lovely place for people to socialise, to come together and not be sat at home.
And I love living in Washington, and I think it's mainly because of the greenery.
I can walk to the galleries if I choose to. I did that last week.
I think that every time I take the dog for a walk, I think how lucky we are to live in Washington.
I think any bad places around the people who live there.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I have a good neighbour, one on the left, one on the right. A really good neighbour.
Yeah, As a local councillor, I get to speak to people. I get to meet a whole range of people. So I'm not isolated from that perspective. I also have friends, and I go out. I have family and go out with them. I'm not isolated or lonely.
Drug addicts next door to you, and obviously that would be horrible. I'm not naming any places.
And sometimes if you have people who don't have pride in where they live, it just causes that downward spiral. People don't care, places look scruffy, people get into antisocial behaviour, that sort of thing. So it's down to individuals and how they come together and what they make of where they live.
If you like a dog and bog. no, a bark and dog. A dog and bog. The bark and dog, I mean, next door. Even pigeons are annoying people these days.
I think I'm quite lucky because I'm in a nice place. There's lots of green space around me. We've got lovely streets. I've got some really good neighbours. So I just feel happy and supported where I live. And it's that bit about how you're not called old. It's about how you go through the aging process.
I was among the doctors. Mr. Wells, he says, you've looked after your body well. Well, I used to drink gin and tonic, so that must have been good for you. And
I'm not sure about that.
And the bits that you embrace. I suppose if you think maybe 50 years ago, people who were old, who were of my age, may be in really bad health.
It's somebody who is very smart, probably something like us four. Aging well, or aging well.
May probably not even live to this point. So it's about how can you raise people's expectations that they still enjoy life after 55, 60, 65.
So, I mean, by the sounds of it, the doctor thinks that you're looking after your body and you're
I do,
aging
yeah,
well.
yeah.
You get out and about, don't you? You go
Oh,
do your own.
Well, we do an exercise class.
Yeah, we walk the dogs.
We walk with our dogs.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
voluntary stuff.
I've got one of them things for walking with, and I've got one woman said, you never use it. I don't like the woman in any case, but I haven't got to that point yet. I'll probably have to use it. Maybe when I get around 6, I will use it.
Yeah. But you use your walking stick, don't you?
Oh, I've got to use that.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I'm not that.
You should do active things. I'm not an active person.
Women work a lot more now.
Yeah.
Majority of us have look after grandkids and things as well, so that keeps us going.
I like doing creative stuff, so I make cards and cakes, and I do a bit sewing and that sort of thing. That's what keeps me, but that's what's always done it for me anyway. My one bugbear is I can't really do cross stitch anymore because I can't see those tiny little bits. So yeah, sad, but it's one thing. You've got to do something else and find it in its place. Yeah, I mean, I suppose the positives are I don't have the same responsibilities to a family. My family are grown up, even though they never sort of go away.
Well, as Angela said last week, we'll get our pee on the dot. You haven't got to get up in the morning to go to work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you appreciate things a lot better when you get older, man. I really do.
Grandchildren are your present for not killing your teenagers, which I can quite understand at times when you go through that. But I suppose there are lots you probably got different choices as well. Whereas when you're in a busy family, you often don't find time for yourself. I can make time for myself because I'm not really responsible to anybody else.
You can see what you like, really,
You have
in a roundabout way.
you have a lot more choices.
You've got a lot more time to organise to do what you want.
Yeah.
Becoming ill, I think that's always the fear as you get older.
Well, you know you're going to die. It's like you're getting nearer to that kind of thing, aren't you? But we don't know when we're going to die, so it's really good. But that's I would say, that's the worst thing.
Well, when you can't do the simple things that you used to, and you can't turn the clock back.
I think if you have any sort of disability or long-term severe illness, that will always impact on how you enjoy your life. And I think as you get older, that gets more difficult. Most of us, when we get older, there's always something, whether it's arthritis or tiredness. There are so many things, because we're living longer, that impact on us, and it's how you try and manage them. So it's about trying to keep yourself as healthy and fit as you can.
I think, I said that we're all going to die. That doesn't bother me, but it bothers me how I'm going to die. And what, will it be terminal cancer? Will it be painful or anything else?
Aye.
I think that's the one.
Well, that's where
Yeah.
what do you call it? Euthanasia comes in.
I don't want to be using this.
And what was the reason that you moved to Washington?
Well, that was my wife had cancer. She wanted to be beside the daughter. And I came up here, put a bungalow up where I had it for sale. And on the day when she came out of hospital, she died. So, and it was the same day when the bungalow got sold, so I was shanghaied.
So you came
I'd never have been up here.
It's about people being prejudiced against somebody of a certain age, and that can occur in the workplace. Sometimes you will find people who will make a judgment about somebody who's older.
That people think that you're stupid because you're old. Mm-hmm. Is that what ageism is?
It might be people that are worrying about when they get old. It could be people that's worrying about various things and which way you're going to finish up.
And sometimes it isn't a positive judgment. Sometimes it's, oh, you're old, you're stupid, you don't know anything, you can't work your mobile phone, and that's unnecessary.
People can overlook you because you're old.
I think it become that word that a lot of people use, invisible.
Yeah. I'm here.
The government used the term ageism when someone who is older doesn't get the same opportunities. So if someone won't give you a job because you're a certain age, it's like discrimination. So have you ever personally experienced ageism?
No, I don't think I have. No. I suppose I've seen it with other people, or I just missed it.
Has anyone been horrible to my Jimmy because how old he is?
I'm not sure on that.
I don't know if I've had ageism before. I once bought a phone from my brother, and it was broke when I got it. And I took it back to the shop, and the lad talked to me like I was an idiot, and it was because I was older.
Yeah.
And that really, he wouldn't change the phone. He was horrible. And that he talked to me like I was old. He talked down to us.
Youngsters being rude or just dismissive of older people for that reason. Or sometimes I've seen in a shop where older people are sometimes just looked over. They're trying to ask for help and nobody's particularly bothering.
Free Botox.
And those fat chaps.
And then fat jobs.
I think we all live in stages, and everybody lives in their own stage with their own time. It's that bit about cross-fertilisation of ideas and engaging with young people.
To give them
Well, they're trying very hard to educate younger
Yeah.
people, aren't they? They send them to schools.
I think it would be a good idea where the older person goes into the school or into the colleges and
Yeah.
get asked
I think,
because we've got life experience that they have no idea about.
yeah.
We all breathe the same air we all live in the same community, and it's about how we try and engage each other better than we do at the moment.
Yeah.
If you could sit down then with the younger generation and just have a frank conversation with them, what would you say to them to help them to better understand the older generation?
I would tell them that we all worked hard. I don't think I would tell them that. I don't know what I would say. I don't know.
I think sometimes the younger generation get a bit of a bad press, particularly if they're hanging around street corners. There's always a view that they're going to do something, they're going to be vile, they're going to be awful. And actually the vast majority of teenagers are like us.
Language. Language is out of this world.
You don't like swearing, do you?
Don't swear with women. I've swore. Or men. But not bad.
Not in front of women.
No.
See,
Up here.
traditional man.
Up here, they do mind.
They tell you, oh, when you get to my age, they're not taking any notice of you.
But we say, can you remember when? And the kids can't remember when.
Absolutely. And, I think there are some young people who do think old people are just like horrible, and they don't understand how they're doing at the moment. And I think the only way you can break barriers down is have people talking to each other.
I was talking to my grandson the other day, and he's 28, 29, and I was looking through them Gated books, and I was telling them stories. And I said, Ev, am I boring you? So, and he went, oh, no, I'm listening to you. And I thought, oh, that's nice.
I mean, like outside toilets, you're talking about that. They're like,
oh, outside toilet.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, my eldest grandson's 16, and he said daft things like, when you were little, did you have a television? Well, yeah, I did. But it wasn't a brilliant television. But I'll tell him things like, when my kids were teenagers, we had an internet into the house, but you couldn't use the phone and the internet at the same time. And it's like, what? Really?
For me, I went off to teacher training after school. I lasted 18 months, and I was going to do secondary training to give us 3-year-olds. Just some 4-year-olds couldn't do it. And then I went into nursing.
Well, my first was when I was going to school. I was 12-year-old. I used to walk along the farm 6 o'clock in the morning, go out with a horse and cart with a farmer's wife, loose milk, snow, holes in your shoes, but you carried plenty cardboard. So that when they got too wet, they took it out, put the spares in, and then tea then back to the farm, feed the pigs for penny and halfpenny an hour.
I wanted to be a singer, but I couldn't sing.
I don't know. I can't think
I
about
wanted to be a
that.
singer, film star.
I can't think about that. I got pregnant when I was 17, so...
I wanted to be an air hostess. I can remember going on holiday. I must have been about 10. We went to the Isle of Man and thinking, wow, what a fabulous job that would be. Now when you look back and you think, oh my goodness, that must be really, really hard. You're on your feet all the time.
Well, what, Liz? Hope to stay open.
Yeah.
For me, it's potentially about being happy, being content, and living as long as I can in good health.
What I'm going to move into, but I'm getting it sorted out now, and it'll probably be September, is pastoral nurse, because then the Nurse and Midwifery Council gives you your PIN number. But you can't actually do a lot of the clinical stuff, but you can do the blood pressures and different things and go to people's homes. GPs tell you where to go to. But it's not like 12-hour shifts or anything like that.
You're going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I had a good life, I think. I worked hard. Always thought to be the best, whatever.
I suppose it sounds quite twee, but I think my biggest achievement is my children.
My family.
My family, yeah.
My family and my grandchildren.
Yeah.
Definitely.
For a whole range of reasons, I never went down a career route, so I chose that aspect, and I enjoy meeting with people. I've done lots of voluntary stuff over the years, so I suppose that's my achievement. And I have helped a number of people over the years, and that does make me feel quite canny actually when somebody says thank you. It's like the world. It's amazing.
I got on well with practically everybody. And wherever I went, if I went and I had to meet people and I was going away with them for do big business, I never ever thought I would do that. I never ever thought I would get the situation where I could be dependent on.
Well, I've never been able to decorate because I'm rubbish at that, so I'm still no better at that.
I've got a lot more patience.
Yeah, more patience, so much.
A lot more patience.
You're better at anything.
I was always bad-tempered work-wise, man. I think I can hold me temper wherever better. I can socialise better with people now.
And I can keep my mouth shut now, where I would have spoken out. Think, oh, I shouldn't have said
Right,
that.
right.
We're not very good at that.
Not very good at keeping your mouth shut.
We're not. We'll have to work on that, man.
Well, I don't know, because sometimes I think things and it did a good job, they don't come out my mouth.
Yeah, sometimes it's good. You can see what you like, can't you, when you're...
When you're old, you'll see what you like, Louise, when you're old.
As the one thing I think I've learned over time is they used to be very, very quick-tempered. I try and moderate that, and I can manage that a little bit better, so I don't go off on the deep end as often as I did. I think I realise there's more time, and sometimes everything doesn't have to be done today. I can leave something over for tomorrow. Take every opportunity that you can. You'll get it wrong at times, but you have to go back and keep having that go and try not to have any regrets.
Go to school.
Confidence. Have the confidence.
Finish your education.
One thing where I found out since the wife died, and when I used to walk across there at the bus stop Sunday morning and playing out about the wife, I used to say, wait till I've got one. And that was when I appreciated it.
Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Well, they say that you don't know what you've got until it's gone.
No. Never. She thought she had bronchitis, but she didn't have bronchitis. She had cancer. And then when she died, she told the daughter, I didn't know. I wish I'd been like that, but it was too late. And when I see young lasses smoking, or some of the women, when you go to the galleries up the escalator, it's teeming the rain, and women are huddled up behind the wall, having a fire. Pity.
Yeah.
Pity.
Yes, confidence. Because kids have got much more confidence these days. It's important that kids learn to be confident.
And do you think your younger self would listen to that advice?
Probably not. But, at some point, perhaps if you say that to somebody younger, at some point they might actually realise.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's really weird.